If I have to beg for a seat, I'm clearly at the wrong table. So today's episode is for anyone who realized the table wasn't the problem. The guest list was. You guys, welcome back to the opinion you didn't ask for. I'm Hannah, and I had an encounter when we first moved that really, I think, shaped and changed how I view friendships and how I think friendships have gone from being these wholesome, genuine things to almost like business deals, almost like contracts, and that you want to make a friend because you're trying to climb this social ladder, right? So we first moved here and we were at my son's t-ball game, and it was the wife of the coach of the team we were playing against. After the game, I went up to her to talk about something that had happened in the game, and we were just laughing and talking, and our boys are the same age and obviously interested in the same sports, and our husbands were both coaches, so they obviously had similar enough interests, which, can be hard when you're trying to form friendships. You want your spouse and their spouse to get along so that you want to get together and do things, and it just makes it honestly more fun. And so, we're laughing, and she brings up we should have a play date, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like my first mom friend here. I get her number, I get her name, and I text her after about, the funny thing that we were joking about that happened during the game. And I thought like, wow, we are going to be friends. Well, I do what anyone does in the world that we live in today. And so I try looking her up on Instagram, and I couldn't find her at first. And then I come to find out I had completely spelled her name wrong. And this girl has hundreds of thousands of followers. And I'm like, oh, okay. Of course she does. You know what I mean? Like, of course she's an influencer, right? That's just, I feel like you throw a rock and you hit 10 of them at this point, right? And there's micro influencers, there's the big time, there's celebrities who make more being influencers, so they would rather be influencers than celebrities, all of that. Now influencers basically are celebrities. It's a hot mess over here. So I'm like, oh boy, but okay, like we got along. She's the one that brought up having a play date. It's no big deal. So I text her and she responds once, and then I message her, and I didn't want it to be awkward because I'm sure in her lifestyle and in her world, she's used to people recognizing her. She's used to people knowing her name. And I had no clue who this girl was. I had never heard of her before. And so, I literally spelled her name wrong in my phone because she did not spell it for me. So I was just winging it. Totally spelled it wrong. So I didn't want it to be awkward and have her think, oh, she's just someone that follows me that wants to pretend to be my friend. I am not like that. I do not care if you have 400,000 followers or 4. I just don't care. It's the kind of person you are, right? That's the kind of people I'm looking for. And so I text her and I was like, I did not realize you're a celebrity, and I also didn't know you were pregnant. Congrats, because she had announced on her social medias that they were expecting another kid. And so I was like, okay, this is like a good gap bridging situation to be like, hey, I wasn't following you. I did not know who you were. I guess try to have it not be awkward or have her think that I wasn't being genuine. And then congratulating her on this thing. And she texts me back. She's like, no, not at all. Haha. Like, I'm not famous. And then thanks, so much, whatever. So here I am thinking like, okay, like she wants to be my friend. We've gotten this out of the way. Like, we're going to have play dates. We're going to do all this stuff. So I did what normal people do when they make new mom friends and they are planning to have play dates, and I follow her on Instagram. And she doesn't follow me back, which was totally fine. I was like, okay, maybe she's, picky. Maybe it's more of one of those like, I'll get to know you. We'll hang out a few times before I decide. I don't know. Whatever. So A few weeks go by and I texted her and to see if she wanted to do a play date, and she did not respond. And so then I'm like, okay. Almost 2 weeks later, she texts me back and was like, we're going to be out of town, but we should get the boys together next week. So I'm like, okay, this girl keeps acting like she wants to be my friend. She keeps acting like she wants to do a play date. Like, she keeps giving that vibe. And I get she probably has a lot of people messaging her. A lot of people probably want her time. I get it. You know, I am not one of those people that needs to see you all day, every day. We can plan a play date for 3 weeks from now. I'll probably end up canceling because I make plans and then I want to cancel them. That's a problem I have. But I was like, okay, I can do that kind of a friendship, right? So then I text her a week later to get together. No reply. I would reply sometimes on her story about her son doing, something, and no response, no acknowledgement, nothing. And immediately I started to put myself down. I was like, I'm not pretty enough. I am not, thin enough. I still have all this baby weight to lose. We're not wealthy enough for her group setting. I don't have enough followers for her to want to invest her time into me. And I start tearing myself apart. I am putting myself down to justify why this girl doesn't want to be my friend. Why did I do that? My worth is not in if this girl wants to be my friend. That is not how God sees me. He's like, she didn't want to be friends with you. You must be a rotten egg. Should have thrown you out. No, that is not how your worth works, is if someone deems you worthy to spend time with and deems you worthy of their attention and their friendship. I still to this day don't know why or what it is, but it doesn't matter. My worth was not less than because she did not want to invest in being friends with me. But it kind of made me spiral into this. I spiral a lot, you guys, a lot. I spiraled into this realization that I think social media is ruining friendships. I think it is ruining the way people make connections. Because back in the day, how did people make friends? With their neighbors, with the kids from school's parents, or dance or sports or church or the gym, right? You became friends with people who were in the same circles, who were doing the same activities, who were spending their time and energy in the same ways you were spending your time and energy. And that is how you made friendships. That's how you made connections. Back in the 80s and 90s, they were all speed walking down. I mean, we've seen the Goldbergs, okay? They were all speed walking down and doing their little gossiping, and their kids were friends, and all was great. And I think that we've lost that ability because we see all of these influencers and we think, I want to be like them. I want that status. I want a seat at their table. And there are a lot of people who are willing to do a lot of things to get a seat at those tables. But what if the table that you're jealous of is just full of actors? What if it's just full of influencers being paid to be at these tables that look so grand and glorious and wonderful? But would those people invite those pretend friends to their friendsgivings? Would those people give them a seat at their real tables? Not the virtual tables that are being presented to us all day, every day, of how amazing these people's lives are and how you should want to be like them and live like them. But they're genuine tables, the tables they have in their homes with no cameras, with no video, with no posts that need to be put out, no paid sponsorships. Who are the people they would have at their home? And do we even know the answer to that? Because all we see are the virtual tables that they are all a part of, that they make seem so good, and that you're just an outsider on these tables, that there is a world that you don't get to live within. And so it made me realize, do I want some of the things I want in life because I actually want it, because I think it would be best for me, for our family? Or do I want it because someone told me I should want it? Do I want to go to this school? Or do I want to live in this state? Or do I want to buy this product because it's something I've actually wanted? Or because someone told me I needed it and that almost mental gaslighting has made me be like, I am nothing without this, right? For example, this influencer that I have followed for years, and this is not bashing influencers. I feel like I have to say that every episode, but man, it is just the world we live in. I'm not bashing influencers. I get that they have a job to do, and man, do they do it well. But this girl that I followed for a while, she's very, I want to say down to earth. I don't know if I can say that about most of them, because them and their Gucci sunglasses and Louis Vuitton bags, okay, it's not given down to earth vibes, but more down to earth than some people. And she's a wife and a mom, and I always think she's dressed so cute, and so she would post outfits. And remember, she posted this outfit once with these Adidas Sambas, and I was like, wow, those are so cute. I would love those. And she would always be posting in them over and over. And I kept seeing it, right? Because it's what we're consuming. It's how we are spending our time. So here I am, and every time she'd post these outfits, these Sambas were in this picture or video. And I convinced myself that I needed them, that I would love them. And they were pricey, but of course they were, because an influencer is selling them. Heaven forbid they be on sale or, a dupe. But my husband bought them for me for, I don't know, a holiday, my birthday, Christmas, something along those lines. And I was so excited. And then they got here and I put them on and I immediately hated them. But I did not say a word to my husband about how much I hated them, because I had nagged him a little bit for them and how great they were and how cute they were and how I could wear them with so many different outfits. It's honestly embarrassing at this point. And I remember putting them on and they hurt and they squeaked. And I was Googling if it was normal for them to do that while brand new and if it would go away. But I was not about to admit that I had been bamboozled. Okay, I was not about to admit that. And so they sat on my shelf, my shoe shelf. They just sat there for months. And every now and then he'd be like, are you going to wear those? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, not today, but one of these days I sure will. I don't leave the house enough to put shoes on, okay, dear? Like, leave the shoes where they are. They are a beautiful decoration at this point. And so then I started being like, I need some shoes, and I can't wear those, but I can't tell him I can't wear those. So in my mind, I was like, if I sell them on Facebook Marketplace, I can use that money to buy myself a different pair of shoes that I will actually wear. Short story long, I did that, definitely lost money on the whole deal because no one was going to pay what we paid brand new full price for these gently worn, glorified bowling shoes that were just treacherous. And I bought myself a pair of cheaper Adidas, shout out to Adidas, I guess, that were way less, 100 times cuter, 100 times more comfortable, and I wear all the time, and I love them, and no one influenced me to buy them. I did my own little research. I looked my own shoes up and found what works for me, what was best for me. And you're probably thinking, oh, she learned. Wrong. So then this same influencer, you guys, I probably should unfollow her. And I have gone through multiple phases where I will unfollow certain social media people if I feel like they are no longer filling my cup. If I feel like that is not a table I want to be a part of anymore, I will bow out. I have no shame in that. This girl is not one of those, but I'm starting to think maybe she should be just for me. Maybe I just need some self-control, which I usually have, just apparently not with her. And she has millions of followers. She was doing this collab with this very known jewelry company. And I took a screenshot of this necklace that was going to be in her lineup. And I loved this necklace. I thought it was the cutest necklace, so simple and elegant, but also could be dressed up, dressed down, And I screenshot it and I held onto it for months. And obviously when it first went live, everyone's selling it out. Because that's what they do. They build up this hype of how exclusive this is and you need this and, once it's gone, it's gone. No, they definitely restock. It's fine. And so I watched these necklaces go, and then of course they come back and they come back and they come back. They're never actually out of stock. And so for my birthday this year, I told my husband, I said, hey, I've had this screenshotted for months. I love this necklace. I have not worn necklaces since my daughter Blake was a baby because she ripped a necklace off of my neck once. We paid to get it refixed, put it back on, and the day we picked it up from the jewelry repair place, she yanked it off and broke it again. And I was like, that's it. I am done. I will not be wearing necklaces till I am done having kids, apparently. So, my baby turned 2, and so I felt like I am now getting in the stage of I can wear necklaces again. So I sent him this necklace, and I was like, I know it's a little expensive, but this is the only thing I want. Like, it's so cute, and I love it. And it was in stock and everything. I had made sure it wasn't sold out when I sent it to him. And so he goes like, okay, and he's looking it up. And all of a sudden he starts sending me these links for Etsy accounts. And he's like, do you want to look at these and tell me, if you would consider one of these? And he had found a necklace that was identical to the one that this influencer and this very well-known jewelry brand had collabed on for about half the price, and the quality was way better. The one that the influencer was selling was gold-plated, which is basically bad. It will tarnish. It will start to look bad. You cannot shower in it. You can't wear it long-term, kind of a thing. Not great quality for a high price point. And this necklace he had found was gold-filled, which is the second to best layer. The next one would be full gold necklace, okay? Those cost a lot. So here is a cheaper, better option from a nobody. No offense to this Etsy place, but you are a nobody compared to this girl with millions of followers. But this girl is selling something and making it seem like this is the best price for the best product. You can't get it better anywhere else. Newsflash, you can. Do your research. But it's crazy how we get so consumed by wanting to have these things that other people have, and that if they have it, it must be good, right? If she's wearing those shoes, they must be so comfy. Who knows if she's taking them off 5 seconds after the picture? Who knows if they actually cheaped out on purpose to make more money on the necklaces? Not saying she did, not naming names. I'm just saying we are so ready to support people who have given us nothing. Nothing. They don't know our names. They do not care about us. They are making money off of our seats at these virtual tables. They are profiting from us wanting to be there. And how often are we willing to support a family member or a friend who starts a new business? They start a new podcast. They open up a dancewear brand. They start a salad company, right? Like, how quick are we to support people that we actually know, these small businesses with our friends and our family and neighbors and community, versus how quick we are to follow, to save, to share, to like these random influencer and celebrity status people, that we are so quick to support them, to comment on all their posts, to buy all of their latest drops. And how often are we not supporting the people in our own lives that actually do care about us? They do know our names. They do invite us over for meals or celebrate the holidays with us. How often do we give as much time and energy and money to the people in our actual lives versus what we're giving to people in our virtual lives? Right? Like we need to be able to give that same energy or more. What if we did unfollow all of the people who don't make us better, who don't fill our cups, who aren't helping us to grow and to learn and to challenge us to maybe don't spend all your money, right? Like maybe don't go in debt just to live like me, because we're not the same. Everyone is different. So maybe just stop spending all of your time and your money and your energy supporting someone who would not support you, but your family or your friend, they would, right? Like they would give you that support. They would be sharing your stuff. They would be telling everyone about it. There is no bigger hype girl for my podcast than my 6-year-old, okay? She will tell anyone and everyone with ears that her mom has a podcast. And at first it made me cringe so bad because I was like, okay, shh. Okay, we don't need to talk about it all the time, sis. And then one day she was telling, I don't even know who it was. She was like, oh, have you listened to my mom's podcast? To some random person. They had no clue who I was. And I just looked at her and I felt so loved by her that girl was so proud of me. She was so proud to share what her mom was doing and being the best cheerleader and rooting for my success. Those are the kind of people you should have in your life. If you have people that are not supporting your dreams and goals, but you're out there supporting random people's dreams and goals, you can't expect that same support, right? So you have to decide, is this serving me or is this stealing from me, right? Is it taking time away from me, from my job or my family or my friends or my housework that needs done? Am I so consumed by what is going on in everyone else's worlds that I am draining myself to try to feel seen? And I think it's okay to admit it's okay to be alone, right? It is okay to protect your peace. That was something that I learned in those friendships that were really toxic that I became a different person with. It was better for me to step back and to be alone than to continue forward because it wasn't serving me. And it was not helping me be a better person. And not every situation in life, not every table is meant for you, right? So stop praying to be at tables that no one wants you at. Stop praying to be at tables that God does not want you at. If He has made it clear that that is not your direction, be okay with that. And don't think that you're less than, that you're less worthy, that you're less amazing or powerful. You just have somewhere else to put that energy and that creativity and that love and support. You have that to put somewhere else, right? Like, we should stop trying to fit, like round pegs in square holes. Or I always get my analogies mixed up. I'm not going to lie. I will say a lot of stupid things. Just roll with it. Something about a square and a circle that don't go together. I think maybe it's a square peg and a round hole. Not the point. Anywho, it is okay to be alone. And I was thinking about how in restaurants, my favorite seats in restaurants are always the booths, right? I love a good booth. I cannot stand to sit on a hard chair for a long period of time. But not often do they have enormous booths, right? They're usually 2 to 4. Maybe you get the one in the corner that's circular. You can fit 5 to 6 max. Those smaller booths are what feel intimate and they feel personal and they feel intentional. And then you see those giant tables that the waitresses have had to put 7 tables together for the party of 50. And you look at those tables and there's always someone on one end and always someone on the other end. And then there's the people that maybe get lucky to be in the middle and they get to talk to more people. But they are all shouting and trying to be heard and seen. And there's a million different conversations going on because there's no way they can all be having one conversation at this giant table. And so where do you want to be? Do you want to be at the end of a table that everyone's screaming and talking over you and no one's actually listening to you? Or do you want to be in that personalized corner booth where the people surrounding you make you feel seen and heard and not that you're fighting for attention and love and acceptance? And so it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to be alone. It is also okay to leave a table that is no longer serving you. It is okay to admit you have outgrown a certain place, a certain person, a certain situation. It is okay to say, hey, I have learned a lot from this. I am grateful for the experience and the time I had with it. It is no longer making me feel fulfilled and happy and pushing me to become more and better. So I'm going to remove myself, but not having to have animosity, not having to have a dramatic exit. You can just quietly pick up and leave that table, but you don't need to burn the whole table down, right? Like, we don't need to be burning bridges. We don't need to be flipping tables and chairs and causing scenes and screaming your reason for leaving and how you've outgrown these people and they are less than you and you're smarter than them or whatever it may be. There doesn't need to be the drama and the attention. It is okay to peacefully remove yourself, to hold a place in your heart and in your life that you are grateful for the time that you had there, but then finding what is next for you. Because if you feel called to start or try something new, trust God is going to fill those seats. You might be alone at first. Those tables might be empty. But if you feel called to do something, if you feel like your passion is in this specific thing, there is room at the table for you. Whether it's you starting your own table and seats being filled slowly, or you joining another table, there is room at any table. At any given time, you just have to decide, is this the right table for me? Do I belong here? Do I want to be here? Also, do the people at this table want me here? There is a reason that they make leaves for tables, or that there are foldable chairs that can be added on to every single table. It's because there is always room for you. You just have to decide, are you at a table that is going to make you a better you?